Another week, another SMB. And for this week, I have a one setup that I want to share. But before we get into it, let's get started with the DXY. And as discussed in the previous weeks, you can see on the DXY that we were ranging between this and this zone on the monthly. And if we go to the weekly, we can see that we're in quite of a fight between the bulls and the bears. If I take my box, you can see that we're in a zone in general where a lot of bulls and bears are starting from. In the last couple of weeks, we could see that the bulls were in power, making higher highs and higher lows. And just as we were making higher highs above the monthly zone, the bears did kick in with a lot of power, which are going now to the downside. But as you can see, what was the last zone that was triggered? That was the 100 level of the bullish M right here. And if we zoom in, although we closed impulsively below it, we had nice bullish liquidity forming a fake out on that zone. So this zone right here can be retested in the floor and to function for the bulls, to trampoline and to go impulsively to the upside again. But although this zone was quite strong, I want to see more confirmation because here are a lot of bulls. You see a lot of bulls that are leaving from that zone, but also when we go a little bit higher, there's also a lot of bears coming. So this isn't invalid for me, but if we go to the daily, I want to see some more confirmation and I want to see what the close-up price action is of that zone. And, well, this confirms a long bias where we have a shoulder 1, the head, shoulder 2, and a little nick right here, which makes a pattern in a pattern with a bullish M with like 1, 2, 3, possible 4, and a 5 to the upside again. So right now, my bias on the DXY is rather bullish than bearish. And if we make some relief right here, we are good to take bullish setups to the upside. And that brings us to my first setup, which is a USD CAD, a DXY pair for which my bias is bullish. And as always, I'm going to start off on the monthly. And what we can see is that we were making big higher highs and higher lows, forming very clean bullish M's with a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, even touching a pattern in a pattern with a shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2. And this isn't an official pattern I follow, but you could say it's a pattern within a pattern within a pattern because we have an extra bullish M right here with like 1, 2, 3, 4. And as we touched these lows right here, I'm expecting monthly bullish power to the upside, and maybe the weekly will confirm this. And that's exactly what it does, because the weekly pattern aligns with the monthly pattern, with the bullish M right here. And you could say, well, is it a bullish M? Because you have quite of an ascending channel that broke right here with a lot of impulsive bearish power. Well, officially, if we follow the wicks, there was no breaks. And even if you want to count it as a break of structure, we went very impulsively. And you know, after every sprint, after every impulse, we will have to take some rest. We have to form relief. And for that, the touch of this monthly zone and weekly zone could be perfect to take some relief to the upside. We have a flat wall right here. There is nothing to stop us until here, which would form a shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2. So for me, this is perfectly fine and I'm looking very bullish on the weekly. And if we go to the daily, you can see that on that zone, we formed an inverse head and shoulder with shoulder 1, the head, shoulder 2, taking nice liquidity and closing with a very impulsive bullish candle. And not only do we have a bullish M right here, we can see it as a push, IC, push. And if we want to take a push IC push to the upside, it's very important to go to the 4-hour and see what scenario we are in. And for me, this is a scenario 2, where we had a break of the market with an inverse head and shoulder, followed by a bullish M again, which means we can take a straight execution on the daily box. So I will mark out my box right here. And if we go to the 4-hour, I will take a long position, a round off my trades on a round number, and my stop loss will be placed 5 pips below the last wick. We'll add them right here. And my TP will be at the weekly TP. So let me stretch this out a little bit. And I will not count it right now, but my TP will be far to the upside, which I can trail stop on the 4-hour. This was my SMB for the week. I have a couple of other interesting setups that I'm still looking at, but I will share them as the markets develop and we have some more confirmations. Have a good week.